Hi everyone. Oh, it's getting late in the afternoon and everybody's laying around here sleeping except for me. And I'm getting jealous and I want to lay down and take a nap too. But I've been busy all day. So I thought I'd get my video done before it gets any later. And all of these guys just kind of came in the house in the last little bit. And they decided they wanted to lay around and snooze, but it's actually time for me to start feeding them, so I'm going to be getting them back out and getting that done in just a little bit. I thought I'd do the video first. I do my feeding in 3 different groups right now. All my dogs have always eaten side by side in there at the same time. But right now with a visitor, Mr. Thor, and then with our little ones, and then my adults, we're just breaking it up. So I've been feeding my little ones, Caleb and Amos and Maggie, with Delilah. And Delilah has actually been teaching them some manners, and they are starting to get a little better. They like to jump on their food. I mean, they literally dive on it, but they also like to just dive on all the pans, from one pan to the next pan, it just becomes a real circus. And that's why Delilah eats with them now, because they are still kind of diving on each other's food bowls, but they don't dare to touch Mama Delilah's food bowl. And she's teaching them some manners. So that takes our first round of feeding, and then they get to go outside, and I will feed my girls, and they all do just fine side by side. And then when they're done, they get to go outside with the babies, and then that leaves my 2 boys. And since my 2 boys have been kind of on high stress lately, they get a little extra something in their food. I give them some canned chicken, mainly because Thor, the transition for him to leave his home and come and stay with us, he didn't have a good appetite when he first got here. So we always add a little chicken when he comes, and he'll go on and eat. And then, of course, Simon, when Jeff took him to Miss Susie's, they had to use a little chicken to line out his appetite. So I have some chicken to finish off, and they're getting to finish it off, even though they will eat they only get it once a day. They get fed twice a day. Yeah, we do all that twice a day, every morning and then every afternoon. But the boys are only getting a little chicken added to their food once a day. So that takes about an hour and a half to get through all of the feeding shifts. And by the time the boys get through eating, then the girls and the babies are all ready to come back in the house and lay around. Mainly the girls. The babies can stay outside as long as they want. It doesn't matter if the girls are out or the boys. But I still am separating the girls from the boys. But we're on the last little bit. Sheba and Candy are through breeding. Yesterday, both the boys got to go outside and play with everybody except for Chloe. And Simon and Thor were both still, I don't know, they were just all over Sheba. Sheba is not in heat. She had no desire for messing around with those boys, and she wasn't very friendly to them. So I went ahead and brought her in the house, but they wouldn't leave her alone. So she's still another day or so before they'll leave her alone. But and Candy, they're not bothering her at all. They enjoyed getting to run all over the yard and play with her, and so did Candy. So all my dogs, they love to be together and as a pack and go in and out together and eat together. But during breeding season, things get changed up a little bit. So this is Monday. Thor is going to go home on Wednesday. I'll be meeting his mama about halfway, somewhere around Mountain Home, and take him back to her. And Sheba should be good after that. But Chloe still needs to be a couple more days before Simon is going to give it up and stop stressing over her. So by Wednesday, I'm thinking things are going to start calming down simply because Thor will be going home. And not that Thor doesn't do anything to stir up anything around here, but just the presence of another dog kind of increases the energy level in our house. So, but he will be going back home Wednesday. Sheba should be fine to get to run and play with Simon and the rest of the pack out in the yard. Simon's still taking out some aggression on Reba, who's not in heat at all, but I guess she is still somewhat hormonal. Her hormones are still sending out a signal. So even though she's not in heat, but and Simon and Reba are close enough in age and grew up together. She's the one he will take his stress out on. He'll bite her, and he just kind of. He's not like overly aggressive, but he is kind of mean. And she just takes it. She doesn't stand up for herself, so I've been separating her. And he will try his monkey business with her, and she doesn't stop him about that either. I got tickled yesterday because he thought he was going to mess with Sheba, and she lined his little wheels out. She told him no. And he said, okay, never mind. Oh, goodness. But I'll be so glad when we get this breeding season over. It has been an interesting year for our program. We've done the AI breeding. Last 6 months ago, when we were in the spring, early at the end of winter coming into spring, that's when we started our last breeding season. And my studs were still too young. I didn't even have Caleb yet. I only had Simon. And so we brought Mr. Thor in, and he stayed with us for about a month. And he bred with 4 females, but only 3 got pregnant and had babies. Candy didn't. So, and I got to learn the basics of AI breeding. And I like it, and I wanted to learn more, and it is handy, and I do have a little more experience now, and I'm really glad about that. But I want my own studs, and I want my own natural breeding going on outside. That was just the way it's meant to be, but I think it is really useful to know how to do the AI breeding. It would really come in handy if we ever decided to add a pair of Frenchies to our program. And it will always come in handy if we decide to offer up stud services, because it's a good way to protect your animals from any STDs and things like that. A lot of breeders, they do all of their breeding, especially with outside dogs, through AI breeding. So if you take a female somewhere to be bred, more than likely the owner of the stud is going to do an AI breeding, because she's not going to want to put her stud up at risk. So a lot more breeders are doing that, and I'm glad that I have gotten this time to experience it. I know now if I want to try a stud service from somebody on the other side of the country, we can ship it in overnight, and I can handle doing that without having to run to the vet. So that comes in handy. So it was good to learn all this. But my next breeding season, Reba should be pregnant or in heat around January, and Reba and Simon can do a natural breeding then. But the other girls, the ones that are going to be breeding, they won't come into heat until around March. And hopefully by then, Caleb is going to be old enough. And if not, we will probably rely on outside stud service one more time. But I'm hoping, I'll have to look at his birthday and everything and find out just how old he will be. But I'm hoping that him and Simon can do all of our breeding next year. Even if I have to do the AI to make sure that we get it done, I will. But I would rather do the natural breeding, believe me. Anytime. I just feel like that works out good. So, but the rest of everything now, I had a vet appointment today. That's one of the reasons why my video is so late. It's time to do Caleb's third puppy vaccine, and I guess I put it down on my calendar at the wrong time, so I got there by noon. That was the time I showed on my calendar, and I guess I missed the appointment. It was supposed to be at 11:30, and they were so busy they really couldn't accommodate me today without me sitting and waiting quite a while. Thor, you be still. I will let you out in just a minute. So I had to bring him all the way back home. We did not get to see the vet, so we'll have to reschedule that. And I heard from the family that were wanting Delilah, and that is not going to happen. They are absolutely positive that they don't really want to spend the kind of money it will take to put a fence in their yard. I think the lady, she lives in a, I don't know, some kind of a housing addition that has a lot of rules on what they can do on their house or their property. And she's only allowed to use 2 certain fence companies, and both of them, just to fence part of the yard, was going to be over $6,000. So she regretted to tell me that she just couldn't afford to pay that much for a fence, and I really don't blame her. And I really don't mind that Delilah is not going to leave. Delilah's going to stay right here with us. We just really don't want to let her go. We're very attached to her. I get so attached to all of them. I do have to rehome adults when we retire them, and I will continue to do that. But this is one adult I'm just not wanting to retire or wanting to rehome. She is going to be retired, but she gets to stay here and be our little house mama. And I know I'm going to be that way with Miss Sheba. I'm not going to want to rehome Sheba either. So I'm going to keep those 2 girls. I told my husband this morning, however long we decide to do this with the breeding, I know I have to rehome the ones that are retiring. But there are just going to be some that I'm not going to part with. And right now, Delilah and Sheba are 2 of them that I don't want to part with. So Delilah's going to stay right here with us. And that's okay. So I really didn't have her up for sale anyway. She was not up for adoption. I wasn't even thinking about it. But someone reached out to me with the reference of one of my past puppy families, and I kind of thought, well, I would for that home. That would have been a perfect home for her, but she does need a fenced yard, and that's just going to be too much of a thing for them to be able to do in order to get little Delilah. So Delilah can just stay right here with me. She's my good little house mama. Hi, Delilah. Dee, look up at here. Hey, I'm talking to you. Would you look at me? No, not with that camera in your hand. So anyway, I know the dogs are not doing much, but I thought I'd just go ahead and get the video in, and maybe I could lay down with them here on the couch a little while. Mr. Jeff is home, and he is at the auction today, so he had a bunch of stuff he's collected over time that he is actually adding to the auction, and plus he can't miss all that junk that the other people put in the auction. So he's probably going to be gone till late this evening sometime, and it's just going to be me and the pack laying around here. So anyway, that's all I have. Again, we are hoping that our 3 girls are pregnant, Candy, Sheba, and Chloe. And we will start doing ultrasounds around the 25th of this month. And we'll get them confirmed, hopefully by the beginning of October. And if everything goes right, Candy should deliver us a litter of black and white puppies by October 30th. Sheba should deliver kind of a rainbow litter with black mass fawns and maybe some blue fawns or splash puppies. We'll just have to wait and see. And she should deliver around the first week or so of November. And then Chloe should deliver just a few days after Sheba. And that would also be a rainbow litter. Thor and Sheba, Thor and Chloe, and then G-Man out of Colorado and Candy. Hey, don't be getting snarly over there. I told Thor's mama this morning I thought he was getting a little homesick. He doesn't like being separated like that, poor baby. He'd be totally happy if he could just sit in my lap the whole time, or be all about Chloe or one of the girls. He knows his job is over now and he's ready to go home now. So his mama said it's been a good little vacation for him. So he's been on vacation, a working vacation. Simon went on vacation. I'll just be glad when I get to go on a vacation, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I am excited. My thrill is when I start having babies, and I don't want to go anywhere when that starts happening. We will be planning a trip to the airport to fly to North Carolina, and take Amos to his new family and hand him off. They're going to pay the round trip airfare. And either Mr. Jeff or I will do that. It'll just be a day trip to fly in, drop him off, and fly right back, kind of like I did when I went and got Caleb. But if you're interested in a puppy, please get a puppy application off my website at bogensbostons.com. Fill it out and send it back to me, and we can chat and get you on a waiting list. I'm opening up. The waiting lists are open. So I've been getting a few of the applications and interest, but it's mostly for older puppies, and I don't have any older puppies. Amos is spoken for, and just waiting on the whatever way we're going to work out for him to travel from here to North Carolina. But Caleb is the one that we brought in to add to our program, and Maggie is staying to add to our program. So we don't really have any older dogs available, but we do have 3 litters of puppies that are hopefully on the way, and we'll know more about that at the end of the month. So y'all want to tune in, please share, like, and follow our videos, so that the more thumbs up and the more you share or follow, the more popular our videos are, and more people will know that we have puppies. So we would like to grow a little bit more. I know we've got quite a few followers now, but I would like to see it grow some more. Amos, what you doing, huh? You want to go outside? Hey, you want to go outside? Come on, I kind of think you look like you do. Come on. Come on, you want to go? Our babies are doing so good on the housebreaking. They haven't pottied in the house in a while, and they are getting to where they'll come to the door, or they'll do something that lets us know they're needing out. I don't know if he was or not. I guess not. He was just doing something weird. You know, they do that. Sometimes you think that they're about to potty or something, and they're not at all. They're just being weird. So anyway, I'm going to let them rest out there until I get the feeding going, and I will give you guys a new update tomorrow. So everybody have a good week and a good Monday. Now Maggie wants out. They just want to lay in the sunshine. Anyway.